Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I have a little guest here. Ethan is hanging out with me today. Dad is down in the basement doing a couple of things and he just ate and now he's just kind of hanging out. So I have him back here on his boppy. I have a little kind of ottoman here and I just put him on top. Today I'm going to be doing our basically 8-week update. Today is Saturday. His 8 weeks is on Monday. So I figured I would do our 2-month update, just everything that's gone on in the first 2 months and all of that good stuff. So I'm going to jump right into the video. I'm going to do mom and then I'm going to do baby updates. So just jumping in, I have my list of stuff with everything that has gone on and I'm just going to kind of go through everything. If you have any questions for me, just leave them down below and I will answer them. Don't forget to follow me on social media and like the video if you did, and don't forget to subscribe. I've gotten a lot of followers here in the last couple of weeks, so hello, my name's Anna. Baby Ethan, again, is almost 8 weeks, and I'm just going to go through the update, so let's jump right in. Starting off with mom update, a couple of things. So I was really swollen during pregnancy and then right after pregnancy, and I basically got really swollen in the area that he came out of, and that was for about 4 to 5 weeks, and the swelling was really intense. I was really swollen through my feet as well, my legs. I mean, everything was really swollen. So that took about 4 to 5 weeks for it to go away. I was super emotional the first maybe 2 weeks, especially when my milk came in. I just remember sitting there and crying and crying and crying. And then there was times I was really happy crying, and then I was really sad crying, and then I heard a song and I was crying. I mean, it was just kind of all over the place, emotional roller coaster everywhere. So I started working out again. I started going back to yoga. About 4 weeks in, I started going to yoga, and it went well. I've been going back not as often as I would like, just because it doesn't always work out with timing, you know, feeding him or getting up and getting ready and doing stuff. We have other things to do, but I am going back to yoga and it's been great. It's been going good so far. I wasn't cleared before I started going, but I started going because I felt like I was okay and everything was fine. And then when I went in for my 6-week appointment, they said that I was cleared to go and everything was fine. I got on the mini pill, so I'm taking that. It's once a day. It's perfectly fine to take with breastfeeding from what they've told me, and that's what I'm on. Now, I do feel like that's probably why I did start my period again, just because you have I believe it's the progesterone that goes into your body. I believe that's the one that's in the mini pill. There's progesterone and then there's another one that they said you can take. So the one that's in the mini pill, I believe that might be the hormone that kind of got my period going again. So the first period that I got was at 7 weeks and it was a really heavy flow. As far as weight goes, I did end up at 54 pounds that I gained with him. He was a 9-pound, 11-ounce baby, and yeah, you were. Yeah, you were. You talking? You talking? So I ended up gaining 54 pounds with him, and when I came home and weighed myself, I had only lost like 3 pounds. I was kind of freaking out just because so much of him and all the water and fluid and all that stuff. But I had retained a lot of fluid myself from everything that they were giving me. So June 28th was my last weigh-in, and that's where I was at 54 pounds up. And on June 12th, I weighed myself again, and I was down 20 pounds. I maxed out as far as losing as much, basically like right after the water weight started coming off every day, I was losing like 2 to 3 pounds, 2 to 3 pounds, 2 to 3 pounds. So I ended up maxing out at 31 pounds. So I still had quite a bit to go. I'm currently down 37 pounds. We started counting macros. I had done that a long time before I got pregnant, when we were basically gonna do our wedding and, well, our reception for our wedding. We got married and then a year later we had our reception, but I started doing macro counting before then and it really helped. So I decided to do it again, and since doing it, I've lost another 6 pounds. So I'm currently down 37 pounds, so I do still have a little bit to go. I do basically want to be below my pre-pregnancy weight regardless. So about more like about 20 pounds or even more. Just to be kind of where I was at, or I mean, be healthier, be leaner, all that stuff. So I still have a little bit to go. I do have a ton of stretch marks. The last couple weeks with him, I just kind of expanded a lot more. So I do have a ton of stretch marks, and my stomach is a little bit more flabby than it was before just because it was really far out. So there's nothing you can do about it. It's just kind of, it'll tighten up as much as possible and go from there. The bio oil that I was using that I mentioned in the video, prior video, about my mommy updates, I have still been using the bio oil, and I do feel like it has helped out because my stretch marks aren't as visible. I mean, they're still visible because there were so many and they were so big, but they're not as red and just out in your face. So I do feel like it has helped out. So that has been, I wanted to give you guys an update on that because I mentioned it in that video that I wasn't sure if it was because of that or if because my stomach was just shrinking. But now I kind of feel like it is from the bio oil, just because my stomach really isn't shrinking that much more. It's kind of already gone down with having him just as far, I think, as it will go down until I start losing more weight. So I did want to give you guys an update on that. We are exclusively breastfeeding. I've had a couple of plug ducts, not fun at all. The one that I got on my right side was pretty easy to get out. I just had to take a couple hot showers and do some pumping on this side and feeding as much as possible on this side. My left side, I tried everything that I possibly could: the hot showers, the pumping, the feeding only on that side. Feeding him when you're like on all fours, I tried that. I tried pumping on all fours. God, I don't know. I tried castor oil packs. I tried basically everything. That's basically everything for me. I don't think there's anything else that I need to touch on. If there's any questions that you guys have, just let me know down in the box, in the comment box below, and I can answer whatever you guys have questions on, or, you know, anything I've gone through, or maybe something you've gone through that maybe I haven't talked about yet. So yeah, just let me know in the comments below. I'm going to move into baby Ethan and all of his updates. When we came home, he was basically feeding every 2 hours. So it was literally every 2 hours he was feeding, and he was feeding for about half an hour each time. So by the time we finally put him back down and went to sleep, we were getting like an hour of sleep in between. He went to about 4 hours and then 6 hours, and that's basically where he's been at now. It's like 6 hours, 6 to 7 hours. That's where he's sleeping through the night. Last night he actually slept 8 hours, which we were kind of like, whoa, that was a big step. He usually sleeps, like I said, like 6, 7. He did the 8 last night, and then he is up. He feeds, and then he goes back to sleep for 2 to 3 hours, just depends. And then about 7:30, 8 o'clock, he's up, ready to go for the day. He's super happy in the morning, just really talkative, smiling, everything. So it's been going good with the sleeping. At the first couple of weeks were really intense, just because you have to get up so often to feed them. That's another reason why you get the plug ducts and all that good stuff, is because your body's producing what they're used to, but then all of a sudden it starts to spread out more and more. So that's where I felt like I was getting so full and I wasn't letting it out as quickly, so I was getting more plug ducts. So now at night I'm going to be pumping at least once a night before he's up, just so I can avoid getting any more plug ducts, because it's the worst. it's literally the worst. He does feed usually after every nap. He usually sleeps for a while, then wakes up and he's ready to eat. And then he hangs out for a little while. He's now starting to stay awake, kind of like what he's doing right now. He just stays awake for a little while and then he takes his nap, or he feeds and then takes a nap. Just kind of depends. He does take a nap during the evening, or in the afternoon he takes a nap, and then he's up. We try to keep him up for a little while before I actually feed him for his last feeding at night. I feed him as much as he will take, and then we usually put him to sleep, and he sleeps, like I said, pretty good throughout the night, but we have to keep him up and then feed him and then put him to sleep, because if he sleeps right before he takes his last feeding, he won't sleep through the night. So that's what's been working out for us. We have had grandmas take care of him a couple of times now too, just babysat. We went out to our anniversary dinner, our 2-year anniversary dinner, so grandma watched them for that. And then another night we went out for dinner for the first time to get out of the house together. So he's done well. My mom came to visit from California, so she was able to babysit him. And then Kevin's mom lives here in Omaha, so she was able to come over and watch him as well. They're actually coming over tonight. Kevin decided to take us out for my birthday dinner, so he's going to be staying with them. Usually what I do is feed him right before we leave. We usually kind of plan our dinners to make it after he feeds his last feeding, before we head out, and then I pump and leave a bottle, and then they usually feed him before he goes to bed, and he usually goes to bed pretty well. So that's kind of what we've been doing. I've noticed he does take about like 5 ounces, which I feel like is quite a bit, but that's kind of what he eats every time he eats. We leave a bottle for about 5 ounces. One night when we came home from dinner, I pumped and it was a full 5 ounces that came out. So usually he does take both breasts, and then he eats as much as it'll give him. So I'm thinking he does take about 5 ounces. Every week we do go to our mommy and me breastfeeding class. Not every week now, but at the first couple weeks I was going every week, and then now I'm doing every other week. They help with latching and all that good stuff, but now I'm going because I want to know what he weighs. We don't go to the doctor until his 8-week appointment, so we don't know in between that if he's eating enough, if all that stuff. So I've been going, and they weigh him at the beginning and then at the end, to see how much you've fed. They just give you his weight. So he's a little bit under 12 pounds, but he's about to be over 12. So it's just crazy to know that he's grown so much, but it's awesome just to go to the classes and be able to do that, talk to other people, other moms that are breastfeeding, all that stuff. So it's been great. We do that every week to get out of the house, and he likes it. He just is kind of a happy baby when we go, and it's always been really just great to be in that environment with everybody else and all the other women and all that stuff. So that's been great. He does like to be swaddled when he goes to sleep at night. We do try to swaddle him when he takes his afternoon nap, so that he sleeps a little bit longer for that. And then at night we just swaddle him, and he has to be swaddled, because if he doesn't, then he just kind of flares all over the place and he doesn't sleep well. So we are still using the swaddles that I mentioned in my mommy must-haves. Those swaddles are the only ones that we've been using, and they work great for him. He's starting to follow you with his eyes. He is smiling a lot. He's giggling a lot. He talks to you. He likes to have conversations. If you talk back to him, he kind of just looks at you and just keeps talking with you, and it's just so awesome to see him developing and just all the different things that he's going through. But he's usually pretty chill like this. He hangs out. He likes his little bink just when he wants to soothe a little bit, or stuff like that. When he's trying to take a nap, when he's really tired, he'll take a passy and he'll just sit there and just suck on it, and then he usually falls asleep, lets it out, and then that's it. But he likes his little binky, and This one, he actually likes the giraffe too. He likes to play with it. And it's just been great. So we enjoy the little Wubbanubs, and those have been great for him. He's starting to hold his head up. We do a lot of tummy time. I also just sit him on my legs, and he kind of sits on my chest. Um, he kind of has his back on my chest, and I have the boppy in front of me, and he has his arms there and just kind of, wobbles around a little bit. He does like his tummy time. He lays there for a little while, but then after a little bit, he just decides it's not for him, and then he just starts to cry. So we take him off, and then a little while later, we just play with him a little bit more and put him back on, or sit him on us or on our chest, stuff like that. You okay, bud? He's starting to get a little fussy. He's getting tired. So that's basically it for me. Those are all of our updates. He does have his shots next week, which I am terrified about. Kevin actually goes back to work next week when we go for his shots, and I'm not going to have his help after this. I go back in 2 weeks, and I'm going to be really sad about that, but I go back to work in 2 weeks. And Kevin, like I said, he's been with me for 8 weeks, and it's just been amazing having him around. He helps out so much. I mean, I don't even know how I'm going to feed myself during the day, because that's usually what he does for me. He just cooks up dinner for us, or food during the day, and takes care of that part while I'm feeding him and all that stuff. So I'm just kind of like, what am I going to do? But it'll be fine. We're going to have lots of fun and just hang out. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm thinking of what I'm gonna want to do next. So just leave me some comments down below on maybe what you want to see, and I will get that up for you guys soon. I'm sorry I haven't been on as often. He's a handful, and we're trying to just enjoy the time with him before we go back to work, and just hanging out here at home. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm glad that he was on here and wasn't too fussy for you guys. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Look. Look. You gonna say hello to the people? Say hi, YouTube. Hi. My name's Ethan. You gonna blow them bubbles? Yeah. You see yourself? What do you think? What do you think? You still thinking about it? What do you think? You gonna smile? You gonna smile? What do you think? What you think, bud?